Hello and welcome back to Georgia Site's online tatting classes Tag-along. Today we're working on the Linda Davies flower brooch pattern, and we're at the next phase of working on this flower. Right now we have this whole piece completed. You see that? Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. Okay, now according to her instructions, she says fill shuttle with main flower color. That's this color. And do not cut from the ball. Okay, for more advanced tatters, okay, not beginners, okay, you can use the thread that's on the shuttle and tie in your ends because you know how to hide them in your work, okay. But for a beginner, when you do this first part, I would fill the shuttle halfway, okay, and do the pattern, this first part, because you don't want to waste a whole lot of thread. With me, I do a lot of videos, and what I do is just when I finish with that shuttle, I got a bucket, it's my catch-all bucket, and I toss the shuttle over there, so when I have another demonstration to do, I grab the shuttles that I need that's got colors that work together. Okay, so but for tatters, or you could just take the thread off, wind it on those little plastic bobbin things that you buy. I've got some right here. I can show you what I'm talking about. These little things, you can wind it on there. Make sure you put down the brand of thread that it is and the size thread it is. Okay, if it's got a color number, put that on there. Let that dry. Use a Sharpie marker. Let it dry. Okay, then wind your thread on it. Doesn't take it long, just a couple of seconds for it to dry. But you don't want to get that Sharpie marker on your thread. But you can use these and then file them like that. See? That's Elizabeth 10, number 170. That's one of them. And then after it's done, what I do is I take like hairspray or something, and it'll come right off. Another thing that'll work that'll take these off is those Mr. Clean pads. So little food for thought, little hints there for you, so you can reuse them. All right, now let's get back to the pattern. But she wants you to do this, and don't cut it from the ball. Means no breaks in your thread. And we're going to do round 1. Ring 1 is 6, a very long picot, 6. Close the ring and reverse our work. Okay, now remember I said picot gauges, folks. Picot gauges. Get your picot gauges out. Let me zoom this out just a hair so we can get a good shot on it. Alright, now we're going to do 6 double stitches. Okay, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, we got our 6 double stitches. Get some more thread on that. Now I am not using a picot gauge for the simple fact it takes too much time picking it up, putting it down. I'm going to make an extra long picot. So what I'm going to do is just eyeball it, okay, based on my thread. Now put my double stitch in there. I'm gonna pull that right there. That should be quite long enough, okay? And then we're gonna put 6 more if we can keep our shuttle from flying. Okay, that's 2. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, we've got 6 double stitches on both sides of the picot. Okay, now it says to close the ring and reverse our work. Close that ring tight, 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 tight. Okay, and this is what you should have. Alright, reverse our work. Now, tighten up on our shuttle. Okay, we don't need a bunch of thread in our way. Wrap our hand for our next chain. Now the chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picots separated by 2. Okay, so let's put them in. We're doing traditional tatting. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, Excuse me, let's back that up. I was putting in 5 double stitches instead of 5 picots. Why the mind decided it was going to do that, I have no earthly idea. See why I ain't using a picot gauge? Because I have to back up and take care of all my little mistakes, and that takes time. But as you can see, even seasoned tatters make mistakes, so let that be a lesson, beginners. Don't get discouraged. Don't doubt yourself. With everything that is worth learning, it takes time and tons of mistakes. But with mistakes comes practice and knowledge. Okay? So remember that. Back us up to the 2 double stitches here. Right, that's 1. Here we go. We've got, and it flipped over. Get everything lined up here. All right, let's go. All right, that's the second half of that second double stitch. Now we want a picot. And we're putting in 5 picots, not double stitches. Okay, it's 1 picot. This is 2. 3. How many of you, when your husband or your children talk to you when you're tatting and counting, count louder? I do. I think my husband, I love him to death. He's a wonderful helper with these videos. He edits them and everything. And he'll sit there and he doesn't realize how much noise he's making while I'm trying to count. And I'll start counting louder and he says, I didn't know you was counting. Well, duh, I'm working on my tatting. Chances are I'm counting. Men, they don't have a clue. Trust me, they don't. Husbands just don't have a clue. Unless you do it, they don't have a clue. Alright, now I want to straighten these picots up because they're a little wonky. There we go. Now, after we finish our chain, we want to pop that chain in and get that arc. Okay? Real nice arc to it. Alright, now, ring 2. She says 6, and she's got the little plus sign here. It means join. And she wants you to join that to the loop, and then 6 more. This is the loop that she's talking about. Okay? So, let's get that. Two, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Get some more thread on there. Join it to the loop or the picot. Some people call them loops, some people call them picots. In some countries they call the double stitch a knot. Russia, and I think Poland too, calls it a knot. Okay, so that's where the terminology becomes a problem. Every country has its own terms, just like as in crochet. Their double crochet is not our double crochet here in the States. Their double crochet overseas is what we call a treble crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got one more double stitch to put in. Close our ring. Okay, and you can see we're joined. Now, what I'm going to do at this point is tighten it up to where the 2 rings are sitting side by side. Okay? It makes it a little neater. And as you go around adding the rings and chains, alright, you will want to do that so that it looks like it all belongs. Alright, now, here we go. As in chain 1 for chain 2, we continue on until we come to ring 4. At ring 4 is where the next video is going to pick up. So you're going to do chain 2, ring 3, chain 3. And the next video is going to pick up ring 4. So until then, thank you for watching and happy tatting.